I got a hot take here for you today, Chris, is I think health and wellness has become so expensive and so unattainable for so many people that everyone stays stuck.
100%. Holistic care is rarely covered by insurance. Every visit, test, supplement comes straight from our bank account. So the cost feels immediate and personal. Yeah, it's overwhelming. Not only it's overwhelmingly expensive.
They've been burned. They've tried the diets. They've worked with other practitioners. They tried the supplement, the skincare, non-existent. And it really comes down to like looking at these foundational pieces, but also learning how to pull back from all of the noise on the internet.
I think that should be a tagline, actually.
This is Keep It Clear, real conversations about skin, acne, and women's health without the overwhelm. Because you deserve answers that actually make sense. Today's episode starts now. I got a hot take here for you today, Chris, is I think health and wellness has become so expensive and so unattainable for so many people that everyone stays stuck. Agree, yes or no?
100%.
100%. And I'm sure everybody listening is like, yeah, it's outrageous because you see these wellness, nutrition, health influencers, practitioners online, and you're like, oh my gosh, if I don't have those seven different gadgets that all cost $500, I'm not doing a 3-hour wellness routine with olive oil shots and these drinks and these drops and tinctures, then oh my gosh, I can't be healthy. And that's not attainable for me. I don't have all the extra cash to go and spend on these. I don't have the extra time in my day to go and do that. And that's really not the case. That's not what health and wellness should be. I truly this year have wanted to take a stance of health and wellness needs to be more accessible to more people. It has become such a premium offer that you need to have like $5,000, $10,000, go and take a second line of credit and a mortgage out on your house in order to afford to be healthy. And I will say I've actually absolutely I've contributed to that over the years. I'm not going to say I'm out of that. I've definitely contributed to that, and I've really made a vow is I want to make things more affordable to more people, because at the end of the day, Chris, why did we get into doing what we want to do?
I did it to be rich, but that hasn't happened yet.
I did it. Health and wellness practitioners don't generally do it to be rich. Let me tell you, it's usually a side hustle.
No, you are definitely a sole proprietor. And if anybody has owned their own business, you know the hustle and bustle that has to go into it. Not only that, Katie, why it becomes so expensive is we're paying out of pocket. Holistic care is rarely covered by insurance. Every visit, test, supplement comes straight from our bank account. So the cost feels immediate and personal. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And what about the... Go ahead.
I was going to say, especially in Canada, we're not used to paying for our healthcare.
Not just that, a 7-minute visit versus a 60 to 90-minute visit is much different. We're not offering 7-minute visits, right? So all that attention, that prep work, the follow-up, that depth, that value, that adds up fast. So I appreciate why by the time people get to us, they've exhausted every avenue because they saw the sticker price and they were like, I would be too. I've done it.
Yeah. It's
between
not cheap.
The tests, everything.
Yeah. It's not cheap to work with a holistic practitioner, right? Because there's testing, there's a lot of labor and time and education involved. So I do really understand the value behind the higher ticket pricing. But again, I know that's not accessible for a lot of people. So I want to take this two ways today. Is first, I really want to dig into, outside of all the wellness gadgets and trinkets and tinctures and the 600 things you need to buy at Erewhon, what do you really need to focus on for your acne journey? And then how can we make it more affordable for the average person? Because the average person, I feel like these days, if you want to be considered healthy, like according to the internet, you need to be having like a household income of like $250,000 just to afford to be able to live healthy on top of paying all of your bills, right? So Chris, let's break down what they really need to have in place in order to be successful on their health journey and on their skin journey. Because this is something we see all of the time, is if you truly want to be successful with your skin and clearing up your acne, so many people skip a lot of the foundational steps in order to get into the gut cleanse, in order to do the liver detox, in order to do a candida protocol. All of those things are necessary, absolutely. And how many times do we have clients come, they're like, oh no, I just want to, I want to skip to the next part. I don't want to do this. I want to skip to the next part. And I say, okay, well, all the other times that you've tried this before, have you been successful? And they said, oh no, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm like, okay, So let's do it our way. Let's rewind this track. For the people that know what a VCR is, let's hit the rewind button and let's start at the beginning and really laying the proper foundation. Because think about it, if you were building a house, can you just skip to be putting the roof and the windows on? No, I would like that. I'd love to be picking out the paint colors and painting the interior of the house. But if you don't have a foundation, where's it all going to go? It's all going to come crumbling down and nothing's going to work. So Cris, let's really lay out, like, what are the things you actually need to be focusing on first in order to get the results that you want later on?
First and foremost, we need to calm that body down. And how that looks is we need foundational concepts. We need to assess hydration levels. We need to assess when you're drinking. We need to assess how you're chewing. We need to assess what you're eating, when you're eating, why you're eating.
But Cris, I already eat so healthy. I don't need to learn this.
That's great. Then you know what? Perhaps that product's not for you. There might be another one down the road. I'll tell you, the people that even come in educated, they're like, wow, I never learned that. Wow, I didn't learn that. We skip over foundational concepts because they're boring.
And I'm going to add something controversial in.
You?
Me, I know. I'm going to add something controversial in.
I'm so excited. I am recording this day.
It's also because of your ego.
Oh, ouch.
Right?
Did you just say that out loud?
I did. I was so nervous to say it. I was so nervous. But
I'm surprised you didn't message me and say this.
Cris, say this. And you want to, I say this because I've been in situations where I've come in with my ego and I get humbled very quickly. And I'm like, oh, damn. Oh, okay. So I always want to say that when you go into, going back to the foundations and building out your basics, can you leave your ego at the door? I get it. You've done things, things, you've read things, you've looked it up, but can we leave our ego?
Are likely highly educated.
You're likely highly educated, but if we can leave our ego at the door, I bet you'll learn something you didn't know.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. When you start going through concepts and you understand them, that's a time to give yourself kudos. That's a time to take the acknowledgement of, here's what I've done. Right? We always look at it as like, I already know this. Again, that's ego driven. So you're totally on point here. Versus I say to clients, here's the 8 things I want you to work on. If you're already working on, and not everyone's 8 are always the same, fair? But here's the 8 thing I want you to work over the next 8 weeks. I want you to categorize them. Because you know your lifestyle. I'll look at them. I may move them around because we know that's what I do. But the thing is I need to know why you're driven to do these first. I need to know what the concept is. And sometimes you're applying them. So I said, if you're already applying them, put them at the end as check-in points. Am I still doing this well now that I've added all these other cofactors in? That's the biggest deal is when we add one thing or 2 things, if we are already maxed in a mental, emotional capacity, sometimes we can't hold on to everything. That's why the laundry doesn't get done when we're super stressed. That's why the dishes pile up, right? The body's no different.
And I think a lot of the times because so many of I don't want to say all of our clients come in super educated about nutrition and skin health. We have those that are like, I am totally new to this. I've literally didn't know that eating food could impact my skin. We get both. We get both sides. So we're very
we have actually a higher majority where a lot of these are brand new concepts.
Brand new concepts. So I think it's really important that no matter whether you're brand new or you're a seasoned vet in the health and wellness world, is going back to the foundations and making sure that you've really mastered these and put these into place before you jump into candida protocols and SIBO and liver detox and even functional testing. Like this work is so important before you even get your functional test results and start changing things, because you are going to get much better results long-term and have sustainable results that last with your skin doing it this way.
Yeah, we probably want to look at pantry swaps versus here's a protocol, start eating like this. We want to start educating.
What can we add in, not take away?
Here's kind of a miscue, fair? A lot of our time as practitioners is sitting with people or creating publications for education.
So much time.
Value education.
So much time.
Whether it's in a DM, whether it's a live call, or whether, again, it's in that written
Resources,
format,
PDFs,
resources,
tools.
that is what we do. So yes, nutrition is an umbrella. However, we're educators. So when people come in and they're like, what do you mean I have to learn all this new, when they're still working in the other realm of conventional care, getting nowhere? Even if we have fair pricing, it can still feel expensive when trust is already thin, because guess what? It didn't work in the past.
That's the problem, is so many, especially acne sufferers, have been burned so many times before on
Acne
their
and weight
skin.
loss.
Acne and
Besties.
weight loss. BFS.
Besties.
They've been burned. They've tried the diets. They've worked with other practitioners. They tried the supplement, the skincare. They've been given so many big promises over the years that their trust is like non-existent. Non-existent. And it really comes down to like looking at these foundational pieces, but also learning how to pull back from all of the noise on the internet. We live in a time where we've never had more access to information and so much noise, and the algorithm inundating us with ads and recommendations and all of this. And all of a sudden you've added 4,000 things to cart and you don't know what to focus on first.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. Not only, it's overwhelmingly expensive.
Add it up. It's nuts.
I want us then
Oh no.
to kind of like take the stance of, if we know everything is overwhelmingly expensive, I think that should be a tagline, actually.
Everything is overwhelmingly expensive at the moment.
And it's not just expensive, but that overwhelmingly, that the expensive is also your sanity, your emotional poise, right? And we want to be able to foster and curate so that there can be intentional and worth it. So let's go from overwhelming expensive to intentional and worth it.
And that's something that I've really been thinking on for the last little while, is because I've been thinking how inaccessible health and wellness has got for a long time. And like we said earlier, we get into this because we want to help people. I truly want people to feel better. I want women or clients in general, to be able to show up in the world and have that confidence. Because when your skin is clear, when you don't have period pain, when you don't have headaches, when you don't have bloat, you have more confidence to show up in your life and to reach for that job promotion, to be a better partner, to be a better parent, to be happier, to just live your life in a much better way. And that's truly, at the end of the day, that is what the mission statement is all about. So what I really wanted to focus on this year is, how can I make health more accessible to more people, right? We have our high level coaching program, which will always run, but how can I take what Cris and I and our whole team do and make it so more people can utilize it. More people can have that knowledge. More people can feel empowered in their day to say, okay, I know what to do. And I don't have to spend $5,000 in order to get help, in order to be healthy. Because if you are dealing with a health issue, you are worthy and deserving of help, and the price point shouldn't hold you back. And I feel like sick to my stomach that I have contributed so much to this in the space, like so many of us coaches have over the years, is we've shied away from being able to offer affordable things to people. So what I've been really focusing my 2026 on is providing like cost-effective $27, $47, $90, like, so it's packed with so much value in there that you are able to go and do this at your own time, get crazy huge value, learn, feel empowered, and be able to feel better. So I don't know if you guys saw it, but yesterday I just released one of our very first offers about how to be acne free without skincare, which is, guess what, teaching you all of these foundations that you need to have in place in order to be successful with all of the future therapeutic protocols that you do. And because it's the very first thing that I've ever offered in this space, in this kind of realm, I really wanted to price it at super affordable, like $27. So if this is something you guys are into, go and check the show notes because I have all the details there. Because I truly want you to be able to have the proper roadmap and the proper guidance in order to know what to do to build that strong foundation for your health.
Yeah, because some people want to piece it together, and some people have an A-type personality or just a go-getter personality and like, I can do it myself. Yeah, well, you could go do a DIY, or, you could do certain testing. The thing is at the end of the day, this is what we're going to teach you. I promise you, it will come up. So take the value of it. The other thing is, and really what I loathe is please tell everybody it's downloadable. And they can keep it?
Oh yeah, it's a mini course, you guys. It's a mini course. There's I think it's just about 20 videos. I'm teaching all the things. There's tons of resources in there. I made it
why did you not start with that? Because
I made it really bingeable. There's tons of different bonuses in there, like habit trackers and food and mood. And another thing I really wanted to include, is I get this all the time, is Katie, how can I figure out what my root causes are without functional testing, because I can't afford it? So I included in there how we can be narrowing down what one of your body systems and organs need the most support, how to figure that out. I wanted you to have our acne-friendly pantry swaps. We have so much information in there for $27. It's like unbelievable. It's a complete no-brainer. I even added some upgrades in there, Cris, because you want to know what? I'm going to bring it up.
Of course you did.
I'm an over-deliver.
Is the kitchen sink in there too?
I would give you my kitchen sink if I could.
It is.
But another thing I've really noticed in the health and wellness space is so many practitioners are absolutely terrified to lean into AI. They're terrified to lean into ChatGPT because they're afraid it's going to take their job. I get it. I was in that mindset as well. But it also can be such a really helpful resource for people who can't afford the high coaching services. So what Cris and I did is we put our brains together and we put together a whole like downloadable PDF on all of the top ChatGPT prompts that you can use on your health and wellness journey, so you can get the answers that you need in the right way. Because the issue with ChatGPT, you need to know how to ask the right questions in the right way to get the proper answers. And that's what the average non-nutritionist, non-practitioner brain doesn't know, is they don't know how to ask the right questions to get the right answers.
And we talked about that last week, didn't we?
We did talk about that last week.
Maybe we knew this might be coming up.
Maybe I had this in the works all along.
But this is the thing. Here's the thing, what I often see, and this is why I'm pretty stoked about it too. So we don't always agree on projects and these types of things, right? We have to defer things. We have to rope Katie back in, like all of these things.
They have to lasso me out in the field. They're like, come on, Katie, back in.
And then a lot of it's like, Cris says something and they're like, ew. And then a year later, it's like, oh yeah, Cris.
Oh yeah. We have a code word now.
We do. Everyone, we have a code. I don't want to segue, but let's tell them why we had to foster a code.
So I have self-diagnosed ADHD, and my husband agrees, Paige agrees, Cris agrees. We all agree I have ADHD. I have this issue. I feel like I have 65 squirrels in my brain at all times, trying to put on a Cirque du Soleil act. And Cris and even Paige come with great ideas. They're like, hey, Katie, I think we should do this. I'm like, and it goes in, and a squirrel takes it, and it's gone. And then I forget about it. And so we have a new code word that when Cris or Paige really, really need me to focus and give them my undivided attention and pause the squirrels, we have to say, Katie, take your earmuffs off. Earmuffs, Katie. And I have
Earmuffs.
I have to
We
listen.
had to create a code word for Katie.
Yeah.
Because it goes like this. Oh, I had this great idea. And my response is, oh, that's interesting.
That was my idea a year ago.
I don't even say that anymore now. I just say, oh, that's interesting.
And I know what she means.
Where have I heard that before? Like a year ago.
I know, preface this by saying, I remember that Cris said this a while ago, but
I'm not even
a squirrel lost it.
I'm not even the whole idea generator all the time, right? Like for protocols, back-end stuff like that. But geez, when I lobby stuff once in a blue moon, please listen. That's all I ask, right?
We have
That's
a new code word, Cris.
We have a code. Earmuffs. So
earmuffs is my code word.
What I really love is when in discussions, when in production, all of this is I often, and I've done it myself. I've grabbed something, I couldn't download it. I had to then make sure that I belonged into a program. Like it was a non-negotiable. If you want to download it, you have to purchase this. None of this is applying. This is full content. Use as you need. Get your foundations. Love your life. There's going to be more coming. You should see the list.
You guys, I need so much. I need like 86 hours a day because I have so many ideas in this brain that I need to get it all done.
Squirrel is legit what's happening over there. She's nesting right now. She's nesting the squirrels.
Too many ideas. And you want to know, if you have an idea, you want to know what? Is always send me a DM. If you're like, hey, Katie, you want to, I would absolutely love, so I will always ask this question. If there's one thing that I could help you with on your acne journey, obviously the end goal is clear skin, but there's one thing on your journey that I could help you with, what would it be? Send me that DM and I will create a mini course on it for you all.
I really want to talk about the fear-based.
Ooh, that's a good one. A whole mindset thing. Let's talk about a couple fear things now.
Well, fear is this food is going to create acne, or now that it's out and my skin is clear, I don't want to bring it back in because what if?
What if my skin flares? Oh my gosh, I'm terrified to bring this food back in.
Yeah, so we cycle between that depressive, like anxious behaviors where we're going back, but essentially both depression and anxiety is fear. So we need to look at what the fear is, where it's around, substacking almost how we talk to ourselves, right? Not just that is, even client last week said, hey, you know what? I am so scared because she's been severely bloated and gas for like a long time. And we're getting unicorn poops and she doesn't want to alter that. And I said, no, yes, she had results that came back with H. pylori, but guess what? There is no way I'm going back after a body that is so stripped of foods because she might have 15 in there, right? So these are the cofactors. This is really, I'd love to break down the honest truth. The honest truth of what you're going through, how it's perceived, what you're thinking. I can sit on a call with somebody and they can say 3 words and I'm like, are you feeling this, and this?
Cris, look what you've just volunteered yourself to create. Our next mindset mini course.
I gotta stop talking. But yeah, no, like that's so cool. I love it. And why? Because we want to teach you high impact steps. We want to pace, say, protocols. We want you asking questions. When you're in fear, we tend to over ask questions that are so analytical, they don't matter. And listen, I'm an analytical queen. I love those questions. However, I can write like everybody, another Cris sharing moment. I can write like a legal document like nobody's business.
Oh my God. I have PTSD from when we had to write that contract without how many updates she made to it. She'd be like, okay, it's done. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go
just
put
kidding.
it in. And then an hour later,
I would think about it. No, more like in the night. I'd be like,
yeah, I would
oh my
get
gosh,
a
I didn't
message
add
at
this.
3 a.m. And I'm like, Cris, just tell me when it's done. I can't, my anxiety on this is too much.
Yeah. So think about all of that. Think about the understanding, the long game turns holistic care. Again, let's go back to that overwhelmingly expensive, the cost. What cost is it to you to live in this acne? That's fear driven. And that's a big nugget. You conquer that, your skin clears. Like, I swear, at least I could probably say 45%. Whatever is residual, it's that big of a deal.
It's huge, right? And if whether you're in this whole, law of attraction, mindset manifestation, vibrational state component, it's so important to remember that your internal thoughts create your external reality. So if you're constantly living in this state of fear of this isn't going to work, this is going to flare my skin, oh my gosh, whatever, you're just drawing more of that negativity and more of that same vibrational state to you. So being able to break free from that pattern can, honest to God, we have seen miracles happen with clients when they finally are able to shift out of that limiting self-belief.
And a lot of this is all driven in trusting yourself. You need to know how to trust yourself. A bad investment doesn't mean that you weren't smart or you failed. It means it wasn't right.
Yeah. I've made so many I've learned so many lessons, let's say, over the years. So many lessons have been learned.
We all have, right? But that's the thing. There's no quick fix solution. Not at all. If there is a quick fix solution, that's exactly what it is illusion. There's no system absorbing any cost for you. So, it's looking at the words. And again, looking at the word cost. We think money right away. It's not. You come first. So a lot of the time, and I reminded a male client today, who tend not to be all like, they're more factual based, fair. Like in the clients I've had, fair. Women tend to be a little bit more open into the voodoo. But it took me a long time. Well, it took me a long time.
I've been like this since I was a kid.
No, it took me a long time. So here's the thing. When I was going through Lifestyle Connected, I took the opportunity to say, okay, when this happens and you find your shoulders going to the top, I want you to breathe. I want you to connect. And I gave some specific based on him, right? Because not everything's based on him. And I said, and then I want you to report back where in your body you felt the pressure. Because that pressure connects to an organ, it connects to a system, it connects to a pattern. I get that information and we're going.
Let me tell you. And you want to know what? If you guys are like, hey, listen, I love this whole like DIY do it myself, but what happens if I have questions? Don't worry, Chris and I thought of that as well. We actually, for the very first time, have set up a membership, super, super low entry membership, where you can come in and there's weekly calls with Chris or myself. You can submit questions, get them answered. We have a community where you can meet other people on their journey. Because I think I think over all of the years that we've been doing this, Chris, the importance of a community of people who understand what you're going through is huge. Whether they're at the same stage as you and they understand where you're at, or they're a few steps ahead, they're like, oh my gosh, that was me, stick with it, is so invaluable. So that's why we wanted to make sure that we also gave really accessible option for that as well.
It's just, it has to be multi-complex, multi-flex. Not everybody wants the same things. Not everyone needs the same things. However, if it's affordable to the point that you have nothing to lose, essentially, like that's 3 Starbucks. You know what I mean? Like, isn't it like a venti? I'm learning the language because my kids like love Starbucks.
I know,
so
my
venti is like a big
does.
one, but apparently there's another big one. But don't get me started. I got to venti, leave me alone.
Venti's the 20 ounce, right? There we go.
Is it 20 ounces?
Venti, well, yeah, isn't it Italian for 20? Or close to it or something?
Listen, I don't know. I didn't even compute it. I was just like, Starbucks has its own language.
Well, I grew up in an Italian household. You would think I would know if venti was 20.
Got it.
That's embarrassing.
I mean, I have my own language too, so I really can't complain.
She does.
I just think it's super important that we just take these initiatives, piece them together, allow them to flow, make them affordable, because healthcare does not have to be ridiculous.
Healthcare does not have to be outpricing the majority of the population. Healthcare should be affordable, it should be accessible, and I truly am making my mission this year is to make sure that everything that we do at KSW is going to be affordable for as much of the population as we can. And I want to be able to give people as much value in those services, because I've often found that, I'll go and pay $25 for a PDF. I'm like, this is garbage. That's like, why did I buy this?
She actually says that because
I do.
Everything, marketing is her forte. It is definitely not my strength.
I'm obsessed.
But she's be like, ew, look what I got. And she'll share with the class. And I honestly usually say, but where's the value? It's not because we're overeducated. It could be something completely different on exercise or a different wellness space. And we're like, there's no value. So this is why we don't trust.
So why the average person doesn't trust. They're like, how can something for $27 be so valuable? How can something for $50 be so valuable? Listen, I'm making it my mission this year to over deliver on everything like I do. If you don't know, my outward love language is gift giving for the people that don't know. So just know it is. Chris can validate.
So here's the thing. We'll work in symmetry because we like different languages.
We do.
Your co-front is going to be very affordability.
Yeah. I think it needs to be. This is
in all the publications, I'm going to review them.
Oh, I don't like this.
So that we ensure as a quality assurance that we're reinstilling the trust back in.
Absolutely. You guys,
that's our promise.
We're making moves here in the health and wellness space, so stick with us because we got a lot rolling out. So just to summarize is I want you guys to know that health doesn't have to be unattainable. You don't need to be a multimillionaire and able to afford it. Is being able to give yourselves the resources and tools and knowledge to be able to empowered to do this, not just for yourself, but for your family and loved ones. Because I'm such a huge believer and advocate that when one person chooses to make changes in their life for the better, it has this incredible ripple effect that you don't even know out into the rest of the world, whether it's through your kids, your partner, your friends, your colleagues, your neighbor, whoever it may be, your dog, I don't care. It's going to have a ripple effect that you're not going to know about. So in reminding yourself, again, not to skip over the foundations, really understand the importance of laying this strong groundwork, brick by brick, with strong mortar that's going to withstand hurricanes and tornadoes and what do we get here in Canada? Our polar vortexes. We're building a strong foundation in order for your future therapeutic protocols to really take hold and give you the best success and best sustainability. And don't worry, we're going to be releasing candida cleanses and SIBO and detoxes and you think of a topic, I've got it written down. Don't you worry. So we're going to give you guys all of this stuff.
If you say cleanse again, I actually like
well, it's because that's what people say to me is when I would say Candida protocol. And that's another thing is I'm trying to use the language that people understand is 100%. Not everybody knows what a protocol is. They're like, Katie, I know what a cleanse is, but I don't know what a protocol is. So don't worry. Show up in my DMs. Give me ideas. I want to do the things for you guys that you want at the end of the day. So like I said, go and check the show notes because this is the second and last day of the launch of our very first mini course. There's a lot of bonuses and everything you can grab. So please take advantage of that now. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM. And remember that you deserve to feel better and it doesn't need to cost you an arm and a leg. Or selling a kidney on the black market.
Anymore. What you want.
Anymore. Up to you. All right, everybody.
Hold on. I just wanted to say this one last thing before we go. Both you and I are very connected when it comes to quality.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we are.
Right? Mm-hmm. We might not have the same overview in you like marketing. Ew, like that gives me hives. So the thing is everything that is being vetted, I'm not kidding. If you purchase that and you say that's not worth it, I am going to be flabbergasted and I may fall on the floor because that is so we're putting blood, sweat, and tears into this. I promise
I got 20 videos in there with bonuses and PDFs. Like you're gonna get in there and be like, oh my God, Katie. That's what I want you to say. Oh my gosh.
Remember our promise: affordability and trust. This is what, unfortunately, in the last couple of years with the saturation, the market, this is what we've lost. We don't want you to get disheartened. We don't want you to feel that you have no opportunity. We need to say, hey, not everybody is going to have, a ton of money, just $4, $5, $6,000, whatever programs are in order to do that. It doesn't mean you need to be stuck. That's a wrong mentality. And we have to reframe it because the unfortunate part is we live there for too long. So yes, we're not saying we don't have worth and these types of things, but we've fostered. So if you can learn from us, please do.
All right, everybody. Another fun-filled episode here at Keep It Clear. As always, shoot me a DM. You got any questions? I hope you love the new mini course we've put out. I would love your feedback. Please send me a DM and we'll see you next week.